In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of my eBay office, my studio, and my various different workplaces. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Commonlad, and if you're new here, I highly recommend subscribing to make tons of different videos surrounding hustles, selling things on eBay, Shopify, Instagram growth, whole bunch of cool things. If that sounds like stuff that interests you, please consider subscribing. Okay, so I know this wasn't really requested, but I know as a viewer on YouTube, I love seeing tours of people's different eBay studios and offices and whatnot, and just sort of where they work. So I'm hoping that I can sort of provide some value that way and show you guys what I do. Maybe I can give you guys some tips and ideas as to how you can maybe smooth out your operation, or you could give me some tips as to how I can smooth out mine. But maybe, I don't know, you guys can find some entertainment in this. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to get to the tour right away here, but I just want to start out by saying this is a unfinished, sort of finished basement. That's what I call it, at least, that I operate in. About a year ago, I came down here. This place was a total mess. I might even throw some pictures up on the screen if I can find some of what this place was like when I first got down here. It was just full of stuff. It was wet and had some water damage. It was just a total disaster. It was dusty. It was gross. There was lots of work that needed to be happened, but I was running out of space in my initial studio or eBay office, and I needed somewhere to go. So I thought the basement would be the best place, and sure enough, I think I've been pretty right with that so far. About 1,300 square feet is the total square footage that I have down here, and I try to use pretty much all of it. Another thing that I'll mention is that this whole space is not just used for eBay. I decided to create some other spaces down here. I didn't need a whole bunch of room for storage, not 1,300 square feet of it at least, but I figured with doing so and this whole project, I could expand to that if I needed it. But for right now, I had some fun creating some different living spaces, even a gym and, you know, a little dining room, a bar area, just a whole bunch of really cool areas. So I'll show you guys those. They don't get used too much, to be honest, but they're just sort of fun things to kind of have as placeholders until the time is ready for me to go and, you know, have a bunch of inventory there. I also mentioned that there's a studio. That's not down here. I will take you there later. It's upstairs, and it's pretty cool as well. It's where I record all my YouTube videos for my other channels in terms of like all the other businesses, the video game store, and various other things. It's also where I record music, and I do some drop shipping and Shopify stuff, and it's just sort of my other office. And then at the very end of this video, I'm going to be going out into the new office that I'm building, which is very exciting. It should have probably been done by then, but I'm actually building it from the ground, and it's outside, and I will take you there. It's kind of just under construction. There'll be a full video coming out about that later, but I might as well show you guys so you have some idea of what's going on. And with that long intro out of the way, without any further ado, let's jump right into the tour. So we'll start off right here in the heart of it all, the actual eBay office itself. Please ignore this white cable if you see it. My camera's plugged in because it's almost dead, but I'm hoping that that will not die because it's plugged in. First off though, we enter here right in the center of the room. I decided to put the desk, which is where I work at. Nice old wooden desk, and it's got plenty of room for various video games to be stored or whatever I'm working on. It has its place on it. When I moved down here, I went ahead and bought a Mac Mini. I bought it secondhand. It's a i7 processor though, with all the top specs, whatever it was for the Mac Minis. It's a pretty sweet little computer. I'm not gonna lie, I have probably 4 or 5 different computers that I use, as obnoxious as it sounds, but they do have different purposes, and it is better. I don't know why I'm trying to justify, but I do use multiple different computers. And so that happened. And then also I figured that sound was very important. I'm going to be going into different things I'm interested in here. But sound is also very important. So I got these realistic speakers. I had smaller pair at first, but then I went up to the bigger pair because they were not giving enough sound. And I also got a little Leppy amp here, so I didn't have to have a big, huge amp. These things are great. You can get them on Amazon for like 30 bucks, and they're awesome. Okay, with that all out of the way, we move over into my office itself. These are 2 BenQ 27-inch monitors, which used to be in my old office, and I stopped using them for a little bit, and then eventually I brought them back down here, and they're great. They're not like the highest spec monitors or anything like that, but they work well for doing different split screen things and having, you know, spreadsheets open on one, eBay on another, or whatever it might be. I also had to go for some gaming stuff down here because why not? I had it and it was kind of cool. So I've got a Razer keyboard and then a Razer Death Adder mouse, which is actually from my studio. I have a new one up there, so that's the old one, and I love that mouse. Also, I have 2 phones. One of them is a work phone, one of them is my phone. Why do I have 2? Well, I do a lot of Instagram and social media stuff, and even for TikToks and whatnot, recording stuff, it's super helpful, for me at least. It's definitely not required if you're writing Instagram theme pages and whatnot, but it's been super helpful for me. I also have almost all my notifications turned off because I can't stand them, and they're super distracting, especially when you have multiple pages like I do. But yeah, it's definitely helpful to have 2. Keep everything separate, keep your own personal life on one, and don't ask me why they're both cracked. I don't want to talk about it, but that's that. So yeah, there's an overall look at where I sit every day, nice comfy chair, and it's pretty good. Moving on though, I think we should start in order of how the inventory enters and how it exits and walk through that entire process. First of all, over in this corner is just some random storage stuff, random camera gear, and a little TV that I use for testing sometimes, as well as some more stuff that I use for TikToks and other camera stuff. But then as you make your way over a little bit, after you get through, by the way, some box storage, you're going to see lots of boxes lying around. You're going to see my extremely messy and unorganized receiving shelf. This shelf holds almost all the inventory that I get into the store, and yeah, anything that I pick up, whether it be at Value Village or large lots that come in, it almost always lands here. The Dymo, which Taigi sent over, which I still had to set up, thanks so much for sending me that. That was so sweet, and I still can't wait to set it up. But yeah, I haven't got around to it yet. That's going to be a lot of fun. But I have that white PS3 that we looked at the other day. Also went to Value Village a couple more times, picked up some video games. A lot of this stuff was seen on TikTok. Still have that Connect sensor here from the 30-day challenge. That's not very good. Some remotes, some other VHS players, more stuff. That's at PS2 from the lot. That's the PS2 games from the lot, which will all be listed this week. There's a whole bunch of clothing, and in here is all clothing that's listed on Poshmark. There is all packaging material, and I think there's some Amazon stuff back there as well. Actually, I think the bottom box there is wholesale, and the one above is Amazon stuff, and that is basically everything on the receiving shelf. But of course, this changes bi-weekly, or every week, I think is how you say that, and it will not be the same, most likely, when you see it next. Plenty more boxes over here, and then we finally reach the inventory area. And in an effort to not make this video too long, all the bins there have video games in them, including a lot of the red ones. Then down here we have wholesale goods. Over here we have more and more video games that are not listed yet. Then we have some empty storage because I haven't been listing enough stuff and there needs to be some stuff there, but that's usually where stuff goes that is not video games that's listed on eBay. Same with that shelf right there, except there's some video games. And then at the bottom there, VHS players, large electronics, some phones. I think there's a box of cables there and various other things. Following that, I've got this cool little rack for PS1 stuff and disc-based games, or sorry, not, I guess they're all disc-based, but CD sort of style cases that fit in that rack, which is pretty helpful for storing all that stuff separately. Then I've got all of these different storage things here for all the various wholesale products I carry, each one of these having random things in it. This one not very many, but they all do have different products. Let's see here, maybe I go in there, or maybe I go in there. Yeah, they all just have various different adapters and cables and whatnot, and same down there in the bigger bins for bigger things. And then the testing rack, which you guys are very familiar with if you follow the channel, for all the video games that we had to test. They all come through here, multiple of each system, which allows me to go much quicker, and that's where my camera's plugged in, so yeah. Then this is a desk where most of the work happens, various controllers for systems. That's my camera that I use to take pictures of things, which is usually right here. And putting down the white desk there is where I can usually get some good pictures of video games and whatever it is that I'm listing that day. And then I've got a nice light here, which also, you know, allows for some better pictures. Following that, a nice whiteboard, which I can use to track things. This is still from the 30-day challenge, numbers up. And then I've got a box that's going out this weekend, so don't worry about that. And then the JFJ area over here. And oh, they just sent me, yes, they sent me the things that we ordered. The buffing pads, I haven't opened them yet, but I'm assuming that they're in there. Super quick shipping, they hooked it up. It was awesome. Much quicker than I could have gotten on Amazon and much cheaper. Thanks guys for that. We go down here though, we have a bunch of different video games that are still being worked on, various lots and whatnot that just have leftovers that haven't been working or whatnot. I gotta stop saying or whatnot. Anyway, shipping area over here, a couple scales, some US customs forms. Let's see here, we got various drawers for random things that are used to pack things. We've got shipping material up here, plenty of it. Actually, I need to restock these. They're out of stock right now, so I haven't been able to order any. But I've got some in there, I've got more in here, and that's all it is for right now. Coming down below, I've got these drawers, various different supplies, as well as a Uline book, because you never know when you might need something from them. Down here is just really messy, random other stuff. And the heat sealer, which is fun, so I shouldn't just say random other stuff. And in this one, a bunch of retro video games, a bunch of video game controllers, a bunch more consoles, which are very dirty apparently, various other games. This is sort of just a random pile of video game stuff that has no purpose or nothing to do with anything. Hasn't been listed, probably won't get listed for a while. I don't know. And that is basically it for the warehouse here. Now that's all the actual office-y stuff out of the way. I'm gonna go through this stuff more quickly because I'm sure you guys aren't as interested. Basically a little sitting area and storage over here. This is actually full with a bunch of old iMacs and stuff like that from Apple. Oh, just bang some stuff. The original one's in there, and then that's that purple one. Yeah, and then another iMac thing. I'm a pretty big Apple fan, so I like to have that kind of stuff. Keyboard, which isn't really hooked up, as well as a mixer. I sometimes do some mixing down here, but not usually. This is another office area though that I put in case, well, in case anybody ever comes down here to work. Which, you know, sometimes happens. It gets used a fair amount, but not as much as you'd probably think. PlayStation 4, I'll show you what that's hooked up to here in a second. And then we've got a TV, which is also hooked up to the PS4, but that's also just like the secondary thing. Okay, the PS4 is hooked up to a projector over here, which projects onto that wall, and I'll show you that in a second, but that's pretty cool. Then one setup here, I've got an iMac over here, I've got the printer, which I use all the time over here. I've got a really old computer which never gets used over here, and then a gaming PC which I bought for the gaming channel, which also pretty much never gets used in this setup right here. But these two setups get used fairly often. This one actually does get used, but just not by me. Okay, next up here, very basic living room area, a chair, a couch, a bunch more PlayStation 4 remotes because they're awesome. No, I'm kidding. I shouldn't start that debate. But anyway, we've got a nice painting up there. I got another one going into the new office, which will be really cool. But that's a pretty nice thing. I like having like big pieces of art and things like that. Then a table. A couple awesome speakers. Let me go over there. I'm plugged in, so I gotta be quick. But these are really cool old speakers that I got from Value Village, and they're sweet. I paid only like 25 bucks, and you can't get these anywhere else for that price and, you know, this value in speakers. But they're awesome. They're retro. They're cool. I got a stupid good deal on them. I think they go for like a few $100s at least on Kijiji even. So that was a great deal. Popping over here, I can't really move because I'm plugged in, but there is a whole rack here with a whole bunch of different gaming consoles, retro ones. And if I ever need them, I pull them off of this rack and I can plug them in and test games for them. Basically every console that's, you know, popular is over there that can be used to test things. Now I've got old Mac tower, which doesn't get used anymore, and then a bunch of storage for cables. And this is why I always say that I have way too many cables down here for video game stuff and other stuff. It's all in there. When you leave that room, you come into here. This is just boring house stuff, so I'm not going to go over there. But this is a cool room. Again, I'm unplugged, so I gotta be quick. But this is the gym. There's me. Hi, what's up? Here is just a bunch of random weights and just a little elliptical thing. It's not the best gym in the world, but it works. I use it pretty much all the time, so it's awesome. A lot of the weights aren't here because they're somewhere else, but yeah, and then just tub storage. The camera died, I'm sorry, but that is the gym. I can't go in there because otherwise I get unplugged. And then finally, what used to be my favorite room, but now it's all been overrun by random construction stuff and various other stuff. This is the sort of meeting room, you could say, although it's never really used to have meetings. But nice big whiteboard there, a couch, which you can, you know, sit at, I guess, if you're ever in a meeting. Bunch of insulation. This is all stuff for the new office that's being put outside. Which I'm very excited about. But that is, yeah, it's all in the way right now. If we do go over here, you can see the bar that I built. This was all wood that was down here when I initially came down here, so I built that there. And then, yeah, it's just beside here. It's got a TV back there. Yeah, I don't know, I've sat at it once or twice. Practical, not really. I've only been here for like 20 minutes. But what I do use all the time is this fridge, which I got just to fill up with drinks. Sorry, I'm on a cable here, so this makes this very difficult. But there's a bunch of drinks in there. The stack of cash, which you've seen probably on TikTok if you follow me there. Another TV for some reason. I don't know, there's always just random electronics here. And then a light. That's basically it. Finally, out this way, there's more potential storage for inventory if I ever needed it. This area in here, all this stuff's going on Kijiji and getting cleared out. And then this will become a bathroom, walled off here, drywalled and everything, proper bathroom. And then, if you see right behind there, right through there, that wall right there, that's actually a door that leads almost directly outside into the other new office. Heading back in the other room here, there's something really cool that I didn't show yet. Aha, check it out. I've got all these lights in here, which turn this place into a really cool hangout spot. And even over there, it's pretty sweet. I don't know, there's a projector and work. The PS4 is not on, but you get the idea. And yeah, it's just a pretty sweet setup overall. Of course, this might one day all be turned into rows of shelving, but for right now, it's a fun little area to hang out in. And I try to use it. I might not use it too much. I probably use it enough to make it worth it. Okay, here we are now in the studio, and I promise you it looks a lot cooler in person, and it looks a little bit messy. I apologize for any of the mess in the video, just because there's always things moving in and out, and it's kind of a pain to keep things clean. But I try my best, so I do apologize if there's any mess. This is it though. Actually, there we go. That's much better with the screens on. It looks much cooler. But yeah, this is my laptop. It's an older one. I think it's like 2015, 2016, but it's been great. It's i7. It was fully upgraded when I got it, and I'm super happy with it. So I'm not replacing it yet. I will replace it when the time comes, but until it stops working, I don't see a point. I don't need the touchpad or anything, so it's all cool. This is where I record though, a bunch of different things. Got two different microphones over there. Audio-Technica AT2020 USB, and then an Audix, which is an XLR microphone, goes into a Apache. That's a Duet 2, I believe, and then it hooks into, yeah, just the computer via USB. Run it through Logic or whatever it is. But yeah, there's a little bit more of this setup than it looks. Just off the bat, this Xbox, or this, well, that's what it's hooked up to. I was getting there. This TV, though, is hooked up to an Xbox right there, which is all interlinked to the computer here, so I can see it on the computer, record it through an Elgato, which allows me to do a bunch of video game stuff. Also, little keyboard over here for, you know, whatever, making music. I've got a tower down here. This is a 6-core, not a 12-core. There's another office up here which has a 12-core in it, which is pretty sweet, but it's not mine. But I have seen that, so I did buy a 6-core here with the intentions of upgrading it to a 12-core Xeon, which will be like an absolute beast of a computer. Right now, I just use it for basic Photoshop and editing and stuff, but I know I can do much more with it once I get it upgraded, as well as a new graphics card, bring it up to Mojave or Catalina, and it's going to be wicked. Also got a really nice little MIDI controller, a mask because we need those, and then just really horrible cable management. There's the Xbox One, an old one actually. I have the 1S. I've got, you know, newer versions, but I don't know. This one works fine. Why would I replace it? A subwoofer, which is always fun. A nice little amp there, not a Leppy, a much bigger one because I want to drive more power up here. And yeah, a bunch of Seagate drives, a bunch of different SD cards, various camera stuff all over the place. This is so much fun too. Gumball machine, why not? Little desktop one, always have gumballs at your side. I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't really eat a lot of gum, but there it is. And then of course, Corsair K70, love this keyboard, probably one of my favorite keyboards on the market. And then another Death Adder, because these mice are awesome. Oh, and then of course, little Sony monitors. There's a guitar up there actually. And then, yeah, just a whole bunch of fun stuff. Okay, I made it inside. I switched over to my phone because my camera's being a jerk. But we're here. This is the new office. I wanted to bring you guys here just to give you guys an idea of what's going on. It's littered with tools and everything. I'm not very organized, but that's all right. I'm still working on it here though. The outside is almost completely finished, but inside here I need to still finish insulating it, then doing some drywall work and doing some flooring. That's all gonna be fun. But for the meantime, this is what it's looking like. Got all the electrical sort of in place. There's gonna be a TV up here. This is where our desk will eventually come out. There's some big windows here looking out into the garden, which is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really great setup, I think, overall. There's lots of room in here. Oh, not too much room, but there's lots of room for me. It's a 12 by 9, and it's a pretty sweet office, I think, and I'm pretty excited about it. But super high ceilings as well. Yeah, I don't know. Some pot lights are gonna go in there, and that's basically gonna be it. Also, before you guys ask, no, I'm not moving all my eBay inventory out here, and I didn't just waste all my time in the basement to just build this. That's still gonna be my main warehouse. This is just gonna be another office. I might move my studio out here, I'm not sure yet. But this will definitely be an office that I come to and work in the day, and I just spend time out here, and I can do some listings out here, bring a little bit of stuff out here, but it's not gonna be where I store stuff. It's gonna really be a studio, and ideally, it's actually gonna be where I shoot the future Commonlad videos. So I'm super pumped about that. I'm gonna get a big backdrop up here with some lights and permanently install a studio that I can go to actually record these videos in instead of the typical basement. I will still be down there, of course, doing stuff, because these videos involve us doing stuff. But if there's ever like a sit down and talk video, this is where it's gonna happen, and that's basically it. So yeah, with that all said, I am going to end the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tour. Well, not so quick. I apologize for the length of the video, but hopefully you guys still found some value in it and whatnot. It's very echoey in here at the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this place. So I'll give you an update when it's done. And yeah, for now, that is going to do it. I will see you all in the next video.